Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Here with Brandon again. Want to do a cool little series of videos here. We're going to do a few short ones. Obviously, they'll come out in segments. We've got a ton of topics that people have, left below, commented on some of the videos, messaged us directly, things like that. So, gonna go over a few. But first things first, Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, good. You know, uh, TGIF or whatever it is.
There it
Friday.
is.
So things are good. No complaints, but
Have to complain about a Friday.
exactly. Well, here, a few topics. First one, I figure, just go in order of how we wrote them down. New York stuff, obviously, a lot of good feedback. New York, push to legalization. People reaching out. Any plans for Icanic? Maybe not today, but in the future. But also, maybe, do you just want to talk about how you think the New York, I guess, cannabis business is going to grow?
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's a really exciting time. I mean, I think that New York, in many ways, is that kind of tumbling over is a microcosm for potentially the Fed, right? And so I think that anytime we see a large market like that tumble, it means that we're that much closer to federal legalization, right? I think the early estimates for the New York market are could be $1 billion market in year one, right? So anytime that you add a potential $1 billion total addressable market, it's great for all of us, right? Whether Icanic as a whole, whether we enter tomorrow, in a month, or a year, right? I think that just knowing that there is a market opportunity potentially that magnitude is a huge thing. And so I think it even pushes us harder to ensure that we have the right brands under the portfolio, we have the right SOPs, we have the kind of the right gross margin profile, so that we do, when we do enter a state like New York, we're well prepared to take advantage of what could be a very robust market.
I'm going to stretch probably a lot here, or at least a little, but a lot of brands obviously super focused California, and Vegas really for the most part. You know, we see a ton of brands, a lot of competition in those areas, but of course there's the favorites, there's the best. Would you see it as, hey, this is probably California? If you're successful here, it'll probably be an easier transition to New York? Or what do you look at from a moving from West Coast to, basically East Coast with New York?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, again, getting back to the kind of that wine analogy, right? If you can grow grapes anywhere, you can make wine anywhere, but people are always going to look towards, at least here in the US, to Napa Valley as kind of that influencer. It's got the most spotlight, it's got the most competition with the most discerning customers. So I think that in many ways, California cannabis, at least in our belief, is going to hold true there, right? And so as we look at kind of other states, it's if we can kind of do it in California, compete against the most competition with the most discerning customer, we know that we'll have a very good pathway to be able to do it in other states, like New York.
Yeah. No, interesting. Kind of chatting, I guess, about early stage New York. Let's chat year one, not so much for Icanic, but what do you see as first few things that'll happen to, kind of start this New York, legalization kind of business?
Yeah, I think that in many ways, it's how quickly can you open up retail and delivery to the end consumer, right? I think that it's great to hand out manufacturing licenses, it's great to hand out cultivation licenses, and even just the licensing alone can be a very long, arduous process, right? I mean, let's say that we got a license tomorrow, right? There'd still be a build out, and there'd still be a lot of things. So I think it's a step by step process. But I think in order for New York to be successful, it really has to get points of distribution or points of sale to the end customer readily available, right? I think the more points of retail that there are, the more that it'll be likely that a brand can kind of really grow, knowing that they can get their products in the hands of consumers relatively quickly.
Yeah. No, interesting. Kind of, I guess, taking this back to Icanic. I know very fresh, very early, but I'm sure, yeah, you guys have probably had some little strategy chats, at least just general talks. What's kind of, in your opinion, the plans for New York, if you guys have any?
Yeah, I think that in many ways, again, our focus is building really good brands here in California, right? And we know that if we can do it again here in California, we can do it well, that'll travel very well, right? And so we've built our entire infrastructure not only on having great brands, but also having great manufacturing processes, incorporating technology into those SOPs so that we can travel well, right? I think it's one thing to have a great brand, but if you can't replicate that brand and the success that you're having, both from a unit economic perspective and then just also that consistency that the consumer is after, it's going to be very hard for you to grow, right? So I think while brands are extremely important, I think just as important is really the SOP, the manufacturing process, all with the goal of getting that same output to the consumer time and time again. And if we can do that in California and in travel as well, we can certainly do it in states like New York, which would be very exciting for us.
Cool. No, exciting times. I guess anything else you wanted to say about kind of, plans for New York, or what you think either even other brands will be doing to take advantage of kind of, obviously, of course, recent legalization?
Yeah, no, I think for all of us, it's a big moment, right? I think that
Mhm.
again, it's somewhat of a microcosm for the entire kind of U.S. cannabis market. I think that everyone is going to benefit, even if you're not in New York. The momentum that carries, the excitement, the awareness for cannabis as a whole is only going to create a rising tide. And so, even if we don't enter the market tomorrow, we're very excited that a state like New York has been approved, and we think it's only going to lead to more and more momentum for the cannabis space as a whole.
Yeah, awesome. Well, knock on wood, hopefully some updates to come. As of course you guys have some more strategy chats, and we see kind of what the first early movers in New York are. So awesome. Brandon, thank you. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Anything else you want to leave people with?
Yeah, no, this was great. Again, I think feel free to ask questions, and I'm happy to always jump on and kind of provide insights, whether it be about our company or the industry as a whole. Happy to serve as a resource.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll chat again soon.
Sounds great.